Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 93 based on novel. So let's start. Looking at the deeply shocked look on the faces of the four people in front of him, Xiao Yan sneered. People are like this. The more real the results are, the more difficult it is for them to believe. However, Xiao Yan is too lazy to pay attention to these. He carries a heavy mysterious ruler in his hand and steps in the void. Every step seems to fall on the hearts of the 4 8.5-star emperors. It frightens their spirits. Step on. Step on. Step on. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. When Xiao Yan came to the 4 people with slow steps, the faces of the 4 old people had completely turned white, trembled all over, and a cold sweat rolled down from their forehead like rain. There was no blood on their faces. The whole person seemed to have a serious illness. Not only are their bodies trembling, but their hearts and souls are terrified at the moment. Before that, they never thought that they would die in the hands of a 5.5-star emperor. Think about people at this level who are not respectful to them on weekdays. Even the 7.5-star emperor has to show a low status in front of them, but today's Xiao Yang completely subverts their past habits and their inner imagination. Xiao Yang's face was cold and expressionless. Within a few steps, he had come to one of the 4 most injured old men. Seeing Xiao Yang come to him, the old man's heart is also frightened. Everyone is afraid of death. Moreover, the old man has been practicing for hundreds of years, and he is reluctant to die. At the moment, seeing Xiao Yang is like seeing the god of death. His heart seems to be pressing a huge stone, which makes him breathe quickly. You. Although the old man wanted to say something, the fear from the depths of his soul made it difficult for him to open his lips and teeth. He stammered and said 3 words, but he couldn't spit out a word. In this regard, Xiao Yang's face did not change. He stood in front of the old man. The huge ruler in his hand was raised high. There was a gorgeous and terrible fire on the ruler. In the old man's eyes, it was like a ghost fire from hell, which made him unable to control himself. 7 feet, 5 feet. At the same time, the huge ruler in Xiao Yang's hand also fell quickly with the sound of crushing wind. Finally, in the frightened eyes of the other 3 elders, it fell on the chest of the old man in front of Xiao Yang. Bang! With the crackling sound of bone fracture, the others clearly heard a dull sound like a balloon explosion. Needless to say, the old man's heart was crushed and exploded under this foot. With this sound, the old man's body suspended in the void also fell quickly and uncontrollably. At the moment when the old man's body fell, Xiao Yang stretched out his hand and the suction surged in the palm. Then, a slightly illusory figure was forcibly pulled out of the body. Xiao Yang, I can't live long with my body destroyed. Why do you have to kill them all? The soul was pulled out, and the old man's painful roar suddenly sounded. When the other 3 saw it, they couldn't help feeling more frightened for Xiao Yang's hand. Unexpectedly, Xiao Yang looked so young in front of him, but this means was extremely cruel, just like some old monsters who lived for a long time. I will never leave future troubles for myself. Even if you are just a soul and can't survive long, as long as you have the heart, you can bring me endless disasters. I don't like trouble. For the old man's roar, Xiao Yang was calm and said faintly. Of course, although he said so, this is only one of the purposes of Xiao Yang's move, and the other is about his ancestor Xiao Shen. The remnant soul of Xiao Shen needs very pure soul source as energy to nourish. Naturally, Xiao Yang can't kill those irrelevant people to help his ancestor Xiao Shen. However, for those enemies who want to kill themselves, Xiao Yang will never keep alive. Therefore, this has become a way for Xiao Yang to obtain the power of soul source. As soon as he grasped the palm, Xiao Yang grabbed the old man's soul in the palm. Then the pure lotus demon fire and falling heart inflammation appeared in the palm at the same time. In just a moment, he wiped out the old man's consciousness and began to refine the soul power in his hand. A moment later, after the soul power in his hand was completely refined, Xiao Yang temporarily incorporated it into his body and looked at the other 3 elders again. After this moment of relief, the 3 people also gradually calmed down. Knowing that they were doomed this time, they no longer struggled for mercy, but looked at each other, and then looked at Xiao Yang. The old man in brocade robe changed his fierce look again and said to the other 2 people nearby. You too, it's unexpected that we, the 8.5-star emperor, should die in the hands of a 5.5-star emperor today. However, even if we die, we must let this guy hurt our muscles and bones and let him know that we, the 8.5-star emperor, are definitely not soft persimmons made by everyone. Cough. Xiao Yang, come on, today I and others will fight for this life, and I will make you pay for it. Another old man also stood up at the moment and took a deep breath. His eyes suddenly became decisive. With a move, a long sword fell into his hand. As soon as the long sword was waved, the blade pointed directly at Xiao Yang. At the same time, on the other side, the old man in black also raised his head. With a dry palm, he grasped it out of thin air. A long stick with dark body and metallic luster, engraved with mysterious runes, appeared in the old man's palm. Waving the long staff, it made a whirring sound in the void, and then pointed to Xiao Yang. The old man in the brocade robe waved his palm, and a big golden knife appeared in the palm. He held the handle in one hand and fastened the back of the knife in the other. The blade also pointed to Xiao Yang. Let's go together. If we can kill, we'll kill. If we can't kill, we'll fight to explode, and we'll take his life. The old man in the brocade robe gave a sharp drink, then moved, waved the golden dagger in his hand and rushed over to Xiao Yang. On the other two sides, two old men also jumped over and rushed towards Xiao Yang. It's useless to fight back before death. Looking at the three people rushing in front of him, Xiao Yang snorted coldly. His body suddenly turned in place. He waved 2 feet one after another with a huge ruler in his hand, and the magnificent ruler and horn shot out, directly facing the 3 8.5 emperors opposite. However, at the moment when Kai Mang was about to touch the three people, Xiao Yang suddenly frowned. He saw that the old man in the brocade robe stopped in place at the moment when Kai Mang waved, and then he quickly ran away to the distant sky without looking back. This guy betrayed his companions at such a critical moment. Of course, the other 2 8.5 emperors were also aware of the actions of the old man in the brocade robe. Immediately, their faces changed sharply. They really didn't expect that this guy would use them as a shield to sell them for their own survival opportunities. This kind of behavior is simply despicable. Even Xiao Yang can't bear it. When the earth-shaking roar swept the whole world, Xiao Yang on the void moved and stepped into the 6 tents just condensed. Hiss. 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 Because the shuttle distance between the 6 tents was too short, Xiao Yang quickly crossed 3 times. Coupled with the amazing Tianjue step, he appeared in front of the old man in the brocade robe. The giant ruler in his hand swung out, and the ruler front was directly stuck in the old man's throat. If he hadn't stopped in time, he might have hit it. I hate you treacherous people most in my life. Since you are bent on death, I will make you perfect. The cold cry fell, Xiao Yang's giant ruler fiercely forced the hem, and the wide ruler body fiercely bombarded the chest of the old man in the brocade robe. With the blood gushing, the old man's body also flew out uncontrollably, just like a kicked football, leaving a perfect radian in the void. The next moment, before the old man in the brocade robe stopped his body shape, Xiao Yang moved his steps, and Tianjue stepped again. In a twinkling of an eye, he had come behind the old man, swept out the huge ruler in his hand, and the heavy ruler body hit the old man's back again. The crackling sound of bone fracture came out, and the blood flew everywhere. The old man's mouth was full of blood, and his breath quickly faded down, almost seriously injured. Cough. Your mother. Before the old man's voice fell, Xiao Yanmeng's foot blew on his face. The terrible force almost broke his neck. Bang, bang, bang. On the other side, the injured old man in black robe was frightened and frightened. Even the idea of running away in his heart was completely forgotten by them. At the moment, they are seriously injured and will not be convenient to go anywhere. For them, running away is basically an extravagant hope. Instead of running away, it's better to calm down and face the next death. Maybe this will make them feel better. Bang! It was another heavy blow. At the moment, the old man in the brocade robe had completely changed. His brocade robe was in tattered condition, like a beggar, with blood dripping all over his body. Half of his face was deformed by the giant ruler. In particular, there were several extremely eye-threatening pits on his chest, and the internal organs had long been broken and separated. Although Xiao Yang's bombardment didn't bring any fighting spirit, it was hard for the 8.5-star emperor to bear with his physical cultivation. Although the old man wanted to say something with his mouth open, he was still hesitant and difficult to express. Until after a good film, he bent down and crawled on the void. His voice was vague and hard, saying, "Xiao Yang, I will die today. I must pull you as a cushion." Although he has been seriously injured, the old man still refuses to let go. He has really given up the possibility of life. He doesn't believe that he can still have a chance to live today. In that case, even if he puts his life together, He must pay the price for Xiao Yang. As the old man's voice fell, the fighting spirit in his body suddenly became violent. A terrible energy full of destruction came from the old man's seriously injured body. It seems that the old man is going to explode. Seeing this scene, the faces of the 2 8-star and a half emperors not far away changed. They didn't expect that this guy would be so crazy that he would fight for his own death. They must pay the price of Xiao Yang's life. However, the old man's crazy move turned into a sneer on his face from Xiao Yang's eyesight. The next moment, with the sudden flash of Xiao Yang's body, he had appeared in front of the old man. As soon as his palm turned over, he wanted to fall hard on the old man's forehead. However, the next moment, the old man laughed wildly, his twisted face was ferocious, and his 2 arms hugged Xiao Yang fiercely, trying to lock him in his arms and die with him. Ha ha. Die. Die. If I die, you will die with me. Ha ha ha. Die. Yes, but you'd better die alone. If you want me to die, you're still young. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang sneered. His face was cold and his palm was raised. The surging soul power condensed in the palm, and then a fierce palm fell on the old man's head. Towering hand. Out. The sky-level soul skill, a towering hand, is designed to hurt the soul. It is displayed in Xiao Yang's soul realm. Its power is even more terrible. Under one palm, the soul of the old man in his arms is forcibly shattered. At the same time, the violent fighting spirit in his body is instantly emptied, quickly dissipated and lost, and integrated into the world. At this point, another 8-star and a half emperor died in Xiao Yang's hands. After solving the old man in the brocade robe, Xiao Yang jumped in front of the remaining 2 8-star and a half emperors. At the moment, they have no intention of war. They just wait for Xiao Yang to collect the body. Seeing the 2 people with a dead grey face at the moment, Xiao Yang's pale face was also relieved. He was too reluctant to face 6 8 and a half emperors alone. Xiao Yang didn't even dare to imagine. What should he do if the 2 people in front of him didn't lose their intention to fight, but fought with his life? However, Xiao Yang was glad that they didn't do that. Hiss. The breaking wind sounded again. Xiao Yang took the ruler handle with his hard hands on his face and raised the Shenchong ruler in his hand. He wanted to give the 2 people one last blow and solve the trouble at once. But, on the contrary, just when Xiao Yang was about to make a move, the bottom of Xiao Yang's heart suddenly sounded a bone-quiet voice. Xiao Yang, be careful. Someone is coming this way. Moreover, it is very likely to come for you. The voice of Jiu Yu's sudden words made Xiao Yang look a little stunned. Then he came back to his mind, but he sneered in his heart. With Bei Wang and Xiao Jin, as long as the other party was not fighting the emperor, he was not afraid to come. It's a big deal to fight again. With this in mind, Xiao Yang calmed down and said to Jiu Yu, Jiu Lao, it seems that my life is very valuable. For the benefit of the 4 main doors, so many people are chasing me. Come on, just come. It's just another fight. It seemed that he knew what Xiao Yang was thinking. When he heard the speech, Guyo snorted softly, and then said in a deep voice, Why, you're so brave to deal with a few minions. The other party is a fighting emperor. Are you going to have a fight? What? With a scream, the look on Xiao Yang's face changed instantly. Unexpectedly, for him, did he really disturb the strong man of duty level? If it's just an ordinary half-emperor, but if it's a real strong fighting emperor, let alone Xiao Yang in the weak state at the moment, it's the heyday. Plus Bei Wang and Xiao Jin, it's absolutely impossible to be the enemy of each other. At present, Xiao Yang has to retreat temporarily. Old Bone, do you know the specific strength level of that guy? Xiao Yang, with a dignified face, asked aloud to the bone in his heart. 2-star Dudi is only stronger than Zhongyi in Lungsue City. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang's dignified look on his face was even heavier. Even the palm holding the Shen heavy ruler at the moment couldn't help loosening slightly. When his throat rolled, Xiao Yang suddenly took back the giant ruler held high in his hand and included it in the ring. Then, he looked at the 2 8.5 emperors who didn't know why in front of him and said coldly, Get out. The 2 people in front of Xiao Yang were in a trance and suddenly returned to reality from the gate of hell, which made them feel like a dream. Can it be said that Xiao Yang in front of him is just an imagination in his heart? They looked at each other and smiled, but the smile seemed so bitter, still languishing in place, motionless, as if waiting for the end of the dream. Say it again, get out. Otherwise, you'll die. Seeing this, Xiao Yang couldn't help but frown slightly. Then he suddenly gave a shout of anger in his mouth. A terrible killing intention suddenly spread from his body and came to the hearts of the two people in front of him. Feeling this cold killing intention, Xiao Yang's 2 8.5 emperors suddenly changed their faces, which reflected that Xiao Yang in front of him was not illusory, and the words in his mouth were also true. The sudden change made the 2 8.5 emperors stunned. When Xiao Yang snorted angrily and the strange fire gushed out of his body, they quickly got up and ran away from the distance without looking back. After a long time, Xiao Yang took a deep breath, and the burning fire gradually dispersed, revealing a pale Xiao Yang. Looking at the direction of their departure, Xiao Yang felt a little lucky. Thanks to the fact that he didn't say where he really wanted to go when he talked nonsense with them, otherwise if they spread it out, I'm afraid Xiao Yang would be restless all the way. Bone old, in your estimation, how long can that guy catch up here? Back to his senses, Xiao Yang once again focused on this major event at present. Hearing Xiao Yang's words, the bones in his body murmured slightly, and then slowly made a sound in Xiao Yang's heavy eyes, saying, "According to my estimation, he will be here in less than half an hour." Xiao Yang nodded with an extremely dignified face, then took a deep breath, withdrew his eyes, looked at the emptiness around him, and couldn't help feeling pity in his heart. Alas! Well, since the trouble can't be avoided, let me do something else first. After all, it's all because of me. I'd better solve the trouble. With a slight sigh, Xiao Yang waved his palm, and the emerald green fire rose in his palm. At the moment when the fire was rising, a refreshing fragrance of medicine turned into a warm mist, which made Xiao Yang recover from the injury on his body surface. Feeling the strong breath of life in this strange fire, Xiao Yang couldn't help feeling relaxed. This strange fire is the yang of creatures who ranks 5th in the list of different fires and is called the fire of longevity. The yang of living creatures can make its recipients have a super life that is no less than that of some ancient warcraft. As long as the medicinal seeds are put into it, they can continuously obtain medicinal materials. It is really an excellent fire in the heart of a herbalist. In the face of those broken void, Xiao Yang can recover easily, but he has no way to help the destroyed continuous mountains below. But fortunately, with the help of different fire, it saved Xiao Yang a lot of trouble. Under the influence of the yang of the living creatures, in a short moment, the endless emptiness of the sky once again restored its original appearance. Although the mountains below have disappeared, they are replaced by a more lush green basin. It must be an excellent experience place in the hearts of some practitioners soon. While Xiao Yang was repairing the space around the sky, on the other side, the 2 8.5 emperors who hurriedly fled all the way did not pay any attention. In the direction of their escape, there was a more terrible existence flying towards them. Jie, what's the matter with you two? The 8.5 emperor was beaten by Xiao Yang and fled in such a panic. I really don't want to do what the 8.5 emperor should do. Just as the 2 8.5 emperors fled madly, a cold strange smile came from nowhere between heaven and earth. When they were surprised, their bodies suddenly solidified in the air. Then they reacted. They glanced around, but they didn't see half a figure. He can perfectly hide his trace under the breath of 2 8.5 emperors. If his strength is not as rebellious as Xiao Yang, it is far better than them. I don't know who you are. Is it also directed at Xiao Yang? If so, maybe we can show you the way. At this moment, the heart of the old man in black was beating violently. His intuition told him that the mysterious man talking at the moment might be much more terrible than he imagined. Jie, you're right. This hall is really for Xiao Yang. Hearing the mysterious man's address to himself, the old man in black robe is very dignified. Just stop calling it. We can see that this man must have been in a high position for a long time. His identity is by no means ordinary and comparable to that of a half-emperor. However, just as the black-robed old man was about to speak, the mysterious man smiled again, followed by what he had just said, and continued. However, you don't have to show me the way. But you have cultivated your accomplishments for most of your life. You can't even clean up a 5.5 emperor. I don't know how you live to this day. You. When they heard the speech, the 8.5 emperor next to the black-robed old man wanted to attack, but he was forcibly pressed down by the black-robed old man, and his eyes indicated that the other party's strength was not weak. The latter took back his eyes angrily. Jie, it doesn't matter. What matters is that I will solve Xiao Yang for you and avenge blood hatred for you. With a burst of strange laughter falling, the body of the 2 8.5 emperors suddenly turned over and filled with a dark fog, wrapping them. Who are you? What do you want to do? When they noticed the black fog around their bodies, they were shocked. They felt bad. At the same time, they shouted angrily, and the fighting spirit in their bodies quickly poured out of their bodies, pounding the strange fog around their bodies. Jie, since I avenge your blood hatred, I will repay it with your life as a price. The voice fell, and the black fog suddenly surged. There was a quack sound in the fog, like a fierce ghost in hell, which was frightening. Bang bang. They tried to fight back, as if trying to disperse the black fog, but the result was not as easy as he thought. Although they tried their best, the black fog was indifferent. Jie, it's naive. No one can escape the people who want to kill in this temple. As the shrill laughter came out again, the black fog gradually became as thick as liquid. Then, the liquid gradually wriggled. It turned out that black skulls were made and bit at the two people in the middle of the black fog. Ah! The roar shook the sky, and then gradually became dumb until it was silent. After repairing all the dilapidated scenes in front of him, Xiao Yan took back the strange fire. His eyes turned and looked at the northern sky. He could vaguely detect that there was an extremely terrible breath flying in the direction where he was now. Although Xiao Yan has been able to vaguely detect the breath of the strong man fighting the emperor, he has a calm look on his face. For Xiao Yan, instead of wasting time with dignity, it's better to strive for this short moment and restore some strength as soon as possible. Maybe this can also make him have spare strength in the face of the coming danger. What's more, he still has Guyo's biggest card in his body. If he really comes to the critical moment of life and death, he believes that Guyo will not stand idly by. Therefore, up to now, Xiao Yan has no reason to give up all opportunities. In the void, looking at the vibrant forest sea below, Xiao Yan took a deep breath of the fresh air between heaven and earth and felt the breeze blowing by his ears. Xiao Yan narrowed his eyes, turned his palm, and a pill the size of a longan appeared in his palm. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan swallowed it. At the moment of the pill's entrance, it had turned into a warm energy, which quickly poured into Xiao Yan's body along Xiao Yan's throat, restoring Xiao Yan's lost strength. As the pill entered the body, Xiao Yan breathed again, and then crossed his legs. He sat in the void, waved his hand, and the light of the ring between his fingers flashed. The Northern King immediately appeared beside Xiao Yan to protect his body. After doing this, Xiao Yan made a cultivation seal with both hands, threw all his thoughts behind his head, and began to refine the pill in his body. Seeing this scene in his body, he couldn't help feeling gratified for Xiao Yan. This is the mentality that a strong man should have. At this point, Xiao Yan does well. Coupled with his cultivation speed against the sky, Xiao Yan will become a great weapon in the future. Hoo-hoo! The gentle breeze swept the heaven and earth, turned into an undulating wave on the vast forest sea, and swept away towards the heaven and earth in the distance. The sky is cloudless, and the sky is clear and blue. The world is full of vitality. It seems that the world is a new world, and yet the world is not yet fully covered by life. However, if you look carefully, you can find that in this vibrant but empty world, there is a very inconsistent black spot, which makes this leisurely world change another strange flavor. In the void, Xiao Yan sat with his legs crossed and his hands made practice knots. The burning formula skill in his body operated rapidly. A huge energy vortex condensed over Xiao Yan's head. The energy of heaven and earth was quickly absorbed into it. Under the refining of different fire in Xiao Yan's body, the fighting spirit consumed in Xiao Yan's body was gradually restored. In such a rapid process of swallowing and refining, time passed quietly, until at a certain moment, the originally cloudless blue sky was shrouded in a dark fog. The whole sky was shrouded in the dark fog. The rising sun was dark, and the world became dark. Until this time, Xiao Yan slowly withdrew from his cultivation state, his closed eyes slowly opened, and a sharp golden light suddenly emitted from a pair of dark eyes. When Xiao Yan first saw the black fog all over the sky, the look on his face couldn't help changing slightly. The strange black fog gave him an extremely bad premonition. At the same time, it also made Xiao Yan have a trace of suspicion about this person. Jie. Xiao Yan, I've been looking forward to you for 10 years. Suddenly, a strange smile sounded from heaven and earth, like a fierce ghost from hell. Hearing this familiar tone, Xiao Yan could immediately determine that the other party must be the so-called Ghost Gate from the middle region of Yuanwu continent. This temple. It seems that you are also a person of the level of Temple Lord like the 3 Temple Lords last time. Xiao Yan's face was cold and his eyes were cold. Jie, you're right. However, this hall is not comparable to that waste. This hall is the main hall. Who the hell are you? Ghost Break Gate was established by the people of the Soul family. Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed, the fire flickered in the dark pupils, and his cold eyes went straight to the dark clouds over the sky. He has always been cold to the people of the Soul family. If he can kill them, he will never let one go. For the soul family, Xiao Yan really hates it to the bone. Hearing the speech, the dark clouds in the sky were churning, and then the gloomy strange laughter came out again. Jie. Soul Clan, this is really a distant name. It's past. Let him pass. Now. We're called Ghostbreak Gate. You. Xiao Yang's eyes were frozen. It seemed that there were still many enemies he would face in the future, but until now, what made him wonder was how these guys knew his identity and could be so clear to him. Jie. It seems that you have a lot of questions in your heart. In that case, you might as well go back to our hall. At that time, someone will answer all your doubts for you. The black fog surged and the strange laughter kept on, just like the scream of a fierce ghost, which made people upset. Oh, if I really go back with you, I'm afraid there's only a dead end waiting for me. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang couldn't help sneering. Although the latter was very familiar with him, he also had a deep understanding of what they were. Gaga, that's right. We never give a living to the people of the Xiao family. Unfortunately, me too. I won't be merciful to you. Hiss. With a cold drink, Xiao Yang's big sleeve waved fiercely, and the Xian heavy ruler emerged again. The cold wind sounded, and the giant ruler pointed directly at the thick black fog in the sky. At the same time, the North King beside Xiao Yang also took a step forward with a cold face. An invisible momentum spread from him, making the surrounding void silent. Jie, Xiao Yang, you are only a half-emperor. Do you want to compete with the fighting emperor? Even if there is this puppet, it is just a slap. Strange laughter came out again, and the words were full of ridicule and ridicule. Oh, it's not the first time I've done such a thing. Don't you understand? In this regard, Xiao Yang sneered, stared at the black fog in the sky, and said with a dull smile. Besides, who told you that I had only puppets? The voice fell, and Xiao Yang's body suddenly burst out a bright golden thunder and rushed straight to the sky. The golden light spread all over the sky and turned into a golden thunder column. At the same time, there was a huge sound of dragons singing, which made the dark clouds and fog disperse a lot at the moment, revealing the clear sky and rising sun above the black fog. Hey! Seeing this scene, there was a surprise in the black fog. He didn't notice Xiao Jin who appeared at the moment, which made him feel a little strange in his heart. At the same time, just after the golden thunder rushed into the sky, the dragon roared out and made a world shaking. At a place nearly 10,000 miles away in the Shaolin area, an old man suddenly solidified his face, turned his eyes quickly and looked at the direction where Xiao Yang was now. At this moment, in his pair of muddy old eyes, there was a golden light flashing, showing a surprised look. The vast sky was filled with black fog, like a dark thundercloud, but the strange whine from time to time was chilling. Under the dark fog, at this moment, Xiao Yang is holding a heavy ruler. Bei Wang and Xiao Jin stand impressively beside him. Two strong momentum spread from them to resist the terrorist threat from the sky. Jie. Xiao Yang, it's said that you took the blows of 2 8-star emperors 6 months ago. Today, I want to try to see if you really have that strength. The voice fell, and the terror of fighting the emperor spread between heaven and earth suddenly dissipated. Then, the black fog surged, and a strong figure with a mask stepped out slowly from the black fog. Come on, let's move. Let's see what's special about Xiao Yang, who is well known in our ghost break door. A grim smile appeared on the face under the mask. The strong figure held one palm behind him, and the other arm slowly raised. The palm was slightly curved. He stretched out a finger to hook Xiao Yang and smiled. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yang's face suddenly became gloomy, and Xiao Jin on one side also roared angrily from his mouth. Such a contemptuous action, I'm afraid anyone can't accept it, not to mention Xiao Yang's rebellious nature. 7 times break the sky ruler. 1 foot. Although the action tone of the main hall lord seemed arrogant, at the same time, Xiao Yang also clearly understood that he did have his arrogant capital. The strength of the 2-star fighting emperor can make him proud of any half-emperor. Even if he is not comparable to an ordinary half-emperor, the fact is that even he is unable to refute. Therefore, Xiao Yang didn't dare to be careless at all. He just recovered a little fighting spirit in his body, poured out of the palm of his hand, and then poured into the giant ruler in his hand. Gorgeous strange fire spewed out from every pore on Xiao Yang's body surface and quickly covered Xiao Yang's whole body. Even the Xian heavy ruler in his hand was wrapped. Drink. Xiao Yang's face was cold and severe. He drank suddenly and fiercely. He showed his feet in an instant. Then his body turned into a breeze. In a twinkling, he had come to the main hall. The figure emerged. Xiao Yang raised his head with a giant ruler, and a strange fire rose on it, spreading a terrible high temperature and burning the world. Jie. Tianjuabu, is this what makes the 4 main doors look hot? It really deserves its reputation. Seeing Xiao Yang's terrible speed, the main hall lord couldn't help sighing in surprise, but then sneered again and said, "But it's a pity that you are always just a half-emperor. You still have no effect in front of this hall." Cold laughter fell, and the palm of the hall lord slowly spread out, with 5 fingers flat, and the fighting spirit in the palm surged. At the same time, over Xiao Yang's head, a dark fog quickly surged and condensed into a huge palm. Compared with Xiao Yang under his palm, he looked like a leech ant. What? Seeing this scene, Xiao Yang was suddenly surprised. He understood the power of fighting the emperor, but he didn't expect that such terrible power could be condensed between turning his hands. Jie. Xiao Yang, this hall will let you know how far there is between the half-emperor and the fighting emperor. Remember, this hall will not hold hands like those fools. Jie. Seeing the dignified look on Xiao Yang's face, the corners of his mouth under the main mask of the hall were raised high. When he spoke out, the huge palm over Xiao Yang's head also fell suddenly against Xiao Yang. At the moment when the palm fell, the space below suddenly collapsed, and a terrible wind pressure severely pressed Xiao Yang's head, making his floating body sink a little. Feeling the terrible energy from above, Xiao Yang was extremely dignified. In the face of the bombardment of this power, he had to fight with all his strength. Otherwise, I'm afraid this blow alone would be enough to blow him seriously. With this in mind, the fighting spirit in the cyclone in Xiao Yang's body poured out fiercely. He didn't want money to follow the meridians and pour all his money into the giant ruler in his hand. Under Xiao Yang's crazy perfusion, the mysterious ruler in his hand and the strange fire on it are also more rising and shining. The different fire rose and soared with the wind. In a moment, the gorgeous different fire was like a huge PU fan, set up between heaven and earth. With Xiao Yang's hands waving together, 7 gorgeous caimans shot out one after another, and finally condensed into a startling 10,000 caimans, as if to separate the world in two, hurl it at the huge palm. Jie. Your momentum is good, but it's a pity that you have no appearance. You can only blame your weak strength. Jie. Broken. Seeing this, the main hall lord sneered and held his outstretched palm tightly. At the same time, the Ling Tianju palm falling on Xiao Yang's head also accelerated abruptly at the moment, and then held it together fiercely. Hiss. With a hissing sound, a grey-black fog rose and dissipated slowly in the void. Seeing this scene, the main hall lord could not help but frown slightly under the mask. He seemed to underestimate Xiao Yang's move. If it was only about breaking the sky ruler with 7 weights, although it was a real human-level advanced fighting skill, it was just like that in the eyes of his 2-star fighting emperor, but the difference was that Xiao Yang used different fire. After all, different fire is the most violent force in heaven and earth. Although the different fire on Xiao Yang is only a child fire, the power of the integration of different fire is by no means as simple as it seems. Under the burning of different fire, although the power of his huge palm is not common, it may be due to some reasons. In front of different fire, the black fog does not seem to show its due power, and it is precisely because of this that the 7 heavy breaking Tianqi can show its divine power in front of the 2-star fighting emperor and just pierce a huge hole in the palm. Keek. Hehe, it seems that the 2-star fighting emperor is just like this. Now that he was born, Xiao Yang looked at the main hall with a mocking smile. Although he took advantage of the power of different fire for the time being, Xiao Yang was still hurt under the huge palm. At the moment, Xiao Yang, who had just recovered ruddy, turned pale again, and hung a trace of blood on the corner of his mouth. Nevertheless, what pleased Xiao Yang was that in the collision just now, he seemed to find that his strange fire had a great ability to suppress this guy's strange black fog. This discovery really surprised Xiao Yang. If your own strange fire can really suppress the people of the Soul family, you don't have to be afraid of them coming to the door when you get other strange fire in the future. How about different fire? It's also futile in front of absolute strength. It seemed that Xiao Yang could see the thoughts in his heart. The main hall leader could not help but snort coldly. As soon as his palm turned over, the terrible energy quickly condensed in his palm, which made the surrounding void ripple like water waves. At the same time, an extremely terrible energy breath quickly spread from his palm. Dark Devil's palm. This video will end here.